Bienvenidos, bienvenidas. Esta es una emisión más de Retail Lab, el podcast que estamos haciendo con Jorge Quiroga, quien es el director general de esta empresa. Y Jorge, caray, veo una entrevista que se me hace interesantísima. Está con nosotros Ashfaq Kasi, creo que lo pronuncié bien. Did I pronounce it well, Ashfaq?
Yes, perfect.
Thank you. Y vamos a estar hablando de su empresa, Akron Products. Y para no quitarles más tiempo y sobre todo, Jorge, para que nos digas bien cómo está este tema, porque está muy interesante, adelante, bienvenido, muchas gracias y te dejo los micrófonos.
Gracias, Armando. And I am going to switch now to English. So, because Ashfaq is now living in the US and his whole career has been in English, and all the commercial relationship that we have and the friendship that we have built is in English. And I really want the listeners to understand from Ashfaq words exactly what is he doing, because Ashfaq is, with all that is happening around the world, all the tariffs, all the blockage, and all the different things that are moving economically and geopolitical in Mexico and around the world. I want to tell you one thing that surprised me: companies that are opening in Mexico. So this company has been very successful in many countries. In the US, they supply to Home Depot, to Menards, to different Sam's Club, to Walmart, to BJ's, to Best Buy, etc., etc. And Ashfaq has made a decision to open in Mexico. So Ashfaq, welcome. Welcome to this podcast. I'm glad that you joined us today. And I have a few questions that I want to ask you. The first one is, why Mexico? What do you see to open your business in Mexico?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Secondly, we have done under various other companies I have worked with. I have done business in Mexico, and it has been very successful business relationship. However, due to the current conditions that are going on, geopolitical, we figured having the presence in Mexico will better enable us to service the Mexican market and also make things a little bit more easier and workable for the relationship with our partners over there. We are planning on growing our business with mainly for the larger Mexican retailers, and this way, having the opportunity to have inventory locally there, having inventory come directly from China versus the old traditional way of coming through US and then crossing the borders and using importadors. This streamlines the project, and also having a business entity with Mexican background and existing in Mexico. For example, our Akron Products Incorporated, a U.S. entity which now has been registered as a Mexican business, will help the Mexican retailers and partners more easily conduct business versus having them to have dealt with a U.S. partner, which now, as I said, due to the geopolitical situation, becomes a little bit more difficult. That was our goal, to make it as easy as possible for our business partners in Mexico.
So yeah, one thing that we see, for those that you don't know, I live in Mexico City and work in Mexico City on the retail scenario. And for some people, they say, let's go globally, let's go and serve the customer. But one thing is to say that you want to serve the customer, and the other one is to do it. Akron Products is now opening offices in Mexico. They're going to bring inventory to serve domestically to the retailers. And it's not only products that are old-fashioned products. Akron Products has the innovation, design, and the the most unique, proven, successful products for generators, inverters, water pressures, and now the new line, watt breaks, that are it's a whole line of new products with incredible features that you can take them inside your house or outside your house, connect them between them, and have power if the power goes off, and or if we suffer a shortage in energy, which in Mexico and people of Mexico, you know what I'm talking about. That happens every month or twice a month. So Ashfaq, tell me a little bit about Akron Products. What what lines do you have? You have two lines, and I think that you were working in a third line, right?
So, as far as the business of power and in the power division, I have been working with various companies. Most of these companies are major suppliers in the US, and they're all brand names which many have heard. I've been doing this for over 35 years.
Oh wow.
So the last year and a half, I decided to venture and create Akron Products. One of the reasons for going to this route and creating Akron Products was many of these companies that do generators, traditional gasoline generators, have their focus and emphasis on manufacturing of gasoline generators. Some of the companies that are evolved into new products that utilize solar and renewable energy focus on this product of renewable energy. Under Akron Products, I wanted to be able to bring the best of both worlds to the consumer and give them the option. Because in certain areas, this renewable energy with utilizing lithium and solar is very practical and functional. In certain areas, the old traditional gasoline generator is still something that's more workable as it serves the needs and provides the consumer with a better price option. So this way, with under Akron Products, we get to service both options. And we have realized that this is becoming successful because also from the consumers, when I say consumer, sorry, retailer standpoint, they wanted to bring in somebody on board that now can service all their needs under one umbrella. Whereas in the past, they had to go to company A for the gasoline generators, company B for the lithium, company C for the solar and renewable. Now they have the option to carry all of them under one roof, under one banner of Akron Products, or they can carry a specific one that they need, but the choice is theirs. And the reason I see this also as a successful option is many of the companies I've worked with, it has the amount of time it has taken to grow and expand the business to certain levels. Here at Akron Products, we have been able to achieve this in almost 1.5 years that we've been in existence now. In 1.5 years, as you mentioned, we have Sam's Club, we have Walmart, we have Amazon, we have Home Depot, we have Lowe's, we have Tractor Supply, we have Menards, and we service the entire island of Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. So we have expanded into a huge market share in this short time. This is further proof that this option that you're providing to the consumers is a successful recipe.
I was reading, before talking to you, I was reading about why there has been so many shortages in Mexico and in Central America. Uh, the climate change is a big piece of it, because the climate change is not providing the amount of water that we used to have. So the dams are not putting all the water on the circulating dynamos, and that problem uh, doesn't generate the power that we need. So over the years, I can see that many people is going to need another backup. So from the line that you have, I have seen that you have like the smallest ones, that you can carry on a camp, and you can put a cell phone or laptop or something like that with your solar power, but also big units that you can have two, three, 4 units. And if the power goes off, you can switch that to go and supply your whole house in a matter of seconds. You just change the way that the power gets into your house. And that for many people that doesn't want to have their food spoil, or if you have somebody sick in your house and you depend on certain monitors or IVs or something like that, you need power. So we can tell that Akron is going to come to offer all the dimension and all the catalog step by step, depending on the consumer, of course. But I really like to tell the retailers that Akron Product is an entrepreneur in a foreign country with no language knowledge, uh, but willing to be here to serve the last consumer or to serve all the retailers in the country.
So to answer some of your questions, the first part you were talking about with the water shortages and the dams unable to produce, there's a twofold to that. One is a lot of dependency is on hydropower and stuff. There's not enough water and rainfall in most of the part, and this is what we're experiencing in US too, where we used to have a certain amount of rainfall. Rainfalls have gotten very much less because of the climate change. But the flip side to it is the storms that are hitting are a lot more dangerous and they carry a lot more punch. You can
Ah,
see the last few storms that had hit last year in the Florida and South Carolina. Many of those regions still today, to this day, a year and a half later, in United States, have not recovered yet. They're still suffering. And they are having huge repercussions with power. So they're still relying on portable power. Number two, you saw most recently this year with the wildfires in California,
yeah,
how the climate change is impacting this. Again, these regions don't have power up yet. Many of these people are still relying on portable power. So because of that, the need is still there and always there. And on the contrary, the demand is for these backup power generators is getting much more and more and more. The other flip side to it is the new renewable energy, which we're introducing with lithium and battery pack. You're correct. It ties into the grid and it's safe to use and it relies on renewable energy from the sun. It charges from your electrical grid. When your grid is not there, it connects to your uh, commercial grade solar panels, which you can have on the roof, which produce a lot more uh, electricity than the uh, portable solar panels, which are also available. But we carry these, what we call energy ESS system, energy wall pack systems. And these can range from 8,000 watts to 16,000, and they can be put in parallel and they can have backup batteries that connect to them and go up to 42,000 watts, which is a lot of power for,
yeah,
and most homes, when you get into uh, like US and stuff, I would say average home is still in the 2,000 square feet. I would say if you get into the Latin American, South American countries, they're still considerably smaller. So these are more than ample power to supply everything. And when it comes to it, there are two, three major things you need. You need lighting, which LED lights and stuff hardly consume anything. So the two major factors are power for your refrigerator and stuff so your food doesn't spoil, and AC, air
mm,
conditioning systems, which these can provide with ample power. And, so when there's no power, you can have it. And then in many uh, Mexico and Latin American countries, South America and stuff, I assume you experience what they call rolling blackouts, constant power outages that or power shedding that goes on. So every few hours or so, you'll experience the outages. This is enough to fill in during that time. And most of the time, if you have even the smaller solar units that we have, the lithium battery backups, if you are planning on running your refrigerator so food doesn't spoil and AC, these are good for 6, 8 hours, and they can be indoors. And we're also working because the demand is so high for these in Puerto Rico because they constantly have uh, power shortages because of their electrical grid. And not 100% to that level, but to a degree, I think Mexico mimics the same similar problems. So they have these which they can now run indoors because many people are not living in like US single family homes with huge backyards to run the generator in. They're more like an apartment style dwelling. So this lets you run the lithium battery backup, and you can put solar panels in your balcony, which will trickle charge it. We are also working in conjunction with a company called Reliance, which is making automatic transfer switches that can connect directly to your circuit breaker. So rather than having a power outage and running cords to the power unit, you can simply connect to your wall circuit breaker panel, switch the transfer switch on, and whatever you had selected as pre-selection for your power grid, they're on. Your lights are on, your refrigerator's on. So it makes it a lot more convenient to use. And these are the type of systems we want to try to promote and expand into Mexico and South America.
And that will be my last question. How do you see Akron Products in Mexico? Are you do you think that you're gonna stay in Mexico and Central America, which is practically the neighbor, or are you going to go further to South America and to all the other countries that are out there? Because all of them are suffering, and I think that is gonna be something very, very common in these countries for the next years. Uh, is Akron Products going to try to cover all of those countries?
Well, to answer your question, yes, you got to start one step at a time, baby
Yeah.
steps. So we're eventually our neighbor even is right next south of us, Mexico. And because of the contacts and relationships we have, our first venture is to start in Mexico because we want to not just bite off more than we can chew, but do it correctly so that you create a name that has good credibility that people rely on. But as far as further expansion, now this is the second year we have attended the hardware show in Guadalajara.
Mm.
And over there we get visitors from all over the place. And it seems like whether it's Argentina, El Salvador, Peru, they all are extremely excited about these products. And so it seems like with a successful launch in Mexico, then it can feed the rest because the word spreads soon of what the options are. And also, I think main thing is people not only want to see something new and something, but they want to see something that works, something that has credibility and something that others are speaking about as a success story. So that's why we figured Mexico would be the right place to start because of our relationships there. We can set a correct platform because in this industry, it's not just the sales, it's
Yeah.
after sales too.
Yeah.
How are you going to support your customers? How are you going to, if they have questions about your product, if something goes wrong, how are you going to service them? This is what builds the brand. And once it's built, then it kind of speaks for itself. So that's our goal is to initially launch in Mexico and then hopefully expand into the neighboring countries.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we are going to be seeing your products everywhere in every major retailer here. And I'm pretty sure that we are going to see you at the September show in Expo Ferretera, Guadalajara. And welcome to Mexico, because for us, it's very, very important that companies like your company are willing to cross the border open and say, I just don't want to sell. I want to build something there. I want to build a relationship, a commercial relationship that is going to help the people to get power and energy every time that they need.
Thank you for having us. And as I said, even with the Guadalajara show in September and stuff, we've been there 2 years, and this year we hopefully are planning to expand our footprint so we can show a bigger presence and show more products to the Mexican market.
Perfect.
Very well.
Well, Ashfaq, thank you very much for everything. And we'll be in touch.
Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Armando. Thank you for having me.
Ashfaq,
Bye-bye.
just last question. Do you have a social media? Does Akron Products have such a social media to follow you?
We have here with the Instagram and Facebook, and we do have social YouTube and stuff. And in the US, we have also used very heavily. We work with influencers and stuff who help expand the product selection here. And we do use our social media campaigns and stuff. So for certain power, like for example, this past week, there was a row of storms in the Midwest. So we did
Okay.
in those areas expand our social media campaigns and stuff to bring alertness to people that, hey, storms are there, weather irregularities are there, and you do have an option to buy this, and these are the locations in your area where our products are available. So yes, we do, but as we venture into Mexico, we look forward, hopefully we're working with you guys to expand this over down south.
Right. What's your website? Do you have the
Our
URL?
website is, we have a corporate website, which is www.Akron Products Incorporated. www.akronproductsinc.com. That's our corporate business website, which shows all our company corporate stuff in the Ford. And then we have specialized websites. We have GenMax Power, which focuses on our portable generator, gasoline, LPG, and all the traditional style generator. And so this is more specific to the products. And then we also have wattbricksenergy.com, which focuses more on our lithium and solar power. So we do have basically 3 websites.
Thank you very much. Ashfaq Kasi from Akron Products, thank you for your appearance in our podcast, and we expect to see you soon.
Thank you.
Jorge Quiroga, director general de Retail Lab, muchas gracias. Nos vemos en la próxima.
Muchas gracias, para que vean que también los emprendedores llegan de otros países a abrir aquí en México y aprovechar el mercado mexicano.